can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Now, Don and Max, we've spoken to this gentleman that's sitting opposite before. We spoke to him on the phone once when a fight with Tim Zhu was cancelled, and he very kindly got on the line from Sydney. And then we subsequently got him in and have had a chat to him. And, of course, his name is Michael Zerafa. And he was a light middleweight, but now fighting under the middleweight weights division. And he's in here because there's some exciting news. I'm not sure that he can tell us exactly when and where and who. Well, he can tell us who. But there's some exciting news that's coming up because Michael is about to fight for I think, a world title. And he can tell us where. Yes, Don?
And I would also like to pay him a compliment in your...
Well, why don't I introduce him first?
Well, we've got and I was just going to say, Michael Zerafa is one of...
Pretty boy Zerafa, they call him.
I wouldn't say pretty.
Well, that's the alias. That's his name.
Well, he doesn't look pretty. Who's...
Well, look at you. Michael Pretty Boy Zerafa, that's his name. Like, and if you were fighting, you'd be called
Don the Turkey Neck.
The Dullard Scott.
Wow, he's as bad looking as what I... Anyway, I would like to pay you a compliment, Michael, because we had a young lady on last week, Kate Save, who was very impressive. And you, my friend, I was really impressed with you as an athlete and as a person when you came on in your last interview. A lot of athletes, you interview, have got nothing else but what they think. But you, my friend, are a very impressionable young man who will go a long way in life.
Well,
let me make that prediction.
Oh, well, good on you, Don. Well,
where's more compliment, Sam?
What?
Where's more compliment?
Well, Michael, what we usually do in interviews, we get the subject matter to speak about why he's in here, and then we load him up with all that crap that Don did.
That's beautiful.
We're doing it in the other... So, Michael, you're a very good-looking man, and you're erudite, and you're as smart as a whip. And
that's bullshit, Michael.
Yeah,
you're not good-looking, number one.
Oh, shut up, man.
So, Michael, tell us what is coming up in the Michael Pretty Boy Zerafa
world
future. Yes.
Well, after my last fight, I had an impressive win. I fought Isaac Hardman, who, strange enough, I was the underdog going into that fight, and it was for the IBF mandatory position for the world number 2 spot, and I ended up stopping him in round 2, and now I'm in line for a world title IBF against a very tough big puncher in the Brazilian Falcao.
And where are you ranked?
So I'm world number 2 at the moment. Number 1 in Australia and number 2 in the world, yeah.
So number 2 in the world middleweight.
So this is a fair income good fight.
Yeah, this is legit. This is as big as it gets.
So when you said you're in line, you're not only in line, it is, I think you told us, mandatory that you are asked to, because you're number 2, to fight the reigning champion.
Correct.
And when is that likely to happen, Michael Zerafa?
At the moment now, Triple G and Canelo have a huge fight in their 3rd fight this time around. He'll basically vacate that title, which becomes vacant.
Who is he?
Who's this?
Gennady Golovkin. He's one of the biggest names in the sport.
Why is he vacating?
Because he's going up a division to fight Canelo Alvarez. So they're 2 of the biggest names in the sport. They're worth billions.
Michael, who will you be fighting?
His name's Falcao, a Brazilian.
It's for a vacant title.
Yeah, so at the moment now, Gennady Golovkin has the belt. And then because obviously he's fighting Canelo Alvarez, he goes up a division and that belt becomes vacant.
And what division are you fighting in?
Middleweight, 72.5.
Thank goodness for that. I understand they've got bring all these other bloody divisions in, light, super, middle, or whatever else.
So, Michael, this is IBF?
IBF, yeah. So it's the pretty red belt.
As opposed to... what are the other?
WBF, is it, or something?
WBA, WBF.
Yeah. So there's 4 main sanctioning bodies, and I'm ranked top 5 in all of them.
Good on you.
There's the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO.
So this fight is likely to happen...
Well, obviously it's still in negotiations.
This year?
Yeah, definitely this year. Late November, early December.
Well,
how much notification do you need to get yourself ready?
I'm always ready. That's the key. I reckon the success is always
you wouldn't be match fit now.
100%.
What?
100%.
So you could fight tomorrow?
I could fight tonight.
You're joking.
Don, pay him a backhanded compliment and he'll fight now.
I don't lie. Never lie.
So, Don, would you find that unusual that a man would train off until he gets the word
I thought
and not
you
to
would.
come overseas and then starts training? You're a professional athlete, Don. You trained all year when you played football.
Yes, but you peak. Any athlete peaks.
Bullshit.
Yeah, look, I was at the gym this morning before I come here at 6 in the morning.
But that's maintenance.
Yeah, look, I'm always pushing 80. I feel I'm always looking good. If you look good, you feel good, you fight good. And if you fight good, you make a lot of money and you win a lot of titles.
Where would this likely to be held, this bout?
Well, there's a lot, because I'm a free agent at the moment in terms of promoters. There's been a lot of interest. So he's with Top Rank, which is one of the biggest promoters in the world, Bob Arum. They've showed interest. You know, there's Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, there's DAZN, there's all those guys. There's Matt Rose, Dean. There's a lot of people that have reached out. So basically, the best bid will win, you know, and if it's in Australia, it'll be at Margaret Court.
So do you get a say in that, or is this a collaboration bid between you and the man you're going to fight?
Yeah, look, it's a team thing. You know, my management, his management, the promoters will all sit down and, you know, throw.
Well, he wouldn't want to come out here like.
Well, he does. That's the thing. He does. Yeah. So he's convinced that he's going to knock me out. So I said, mate, you know, 30 thought it, 30 fell short.
Yeah, so that's a very good point. I've just looked up. You've got a 63% knockout for your 34 fights, and he's got 66. So this isn't going the full length. Someone's probably going to hit the deck.
Someone's going to sleep, and it's not going to be me. You know, so he's convinced. He said he's going to knock me out, and I said to him, my response was, you know, 30 thought the same thing you thought, and 30 fell short. So
previously there was, this is my words, was there a little bit of angst and bad blood between you and Tim Tszyu and the associates and camp of Tim Tszyu when that fight got postponed or cancelled?
Yeah.
Or are we back on friendly terms?
Look, you know, me and Tim, it's nothing personal. It's purely business. There's just that competitiveness between us. We're two of the best. He thinks he's the best. I think I'm the best. You know, there's only one way to settle it. Unfortunately, there was a lot of politics, you know, that got involved in the fight that we previously were made. But it's the biggest fight in Australian boxing. It's a fight that needs to happen. It's a fight that I want. You know, I got labelled as I ran away, which was definitely not the case. I fought bigger names for less money in worse conditions. So, you know, that fight will happen. And for, you know, I believe everything happens for a reason. It's just built for a bigger fight, you know. And Matt Rose, his promoters, are doing great things. You know, his team are doing great things. But, you know.
What will you achieve by fighting him?
It's just the biggest fight. It's bigger than the Mundine Green saga. You know, it's huge.
Do you think so? Because that was huge, mate.
I'm telling you, it's massive.
And
I back that.
What division and what weight will you fight at when it comes to Tszyu?
I'm happy. I truly believe I'll beat him at his division and my division.
So what is his division?
He's 69.8. I'm 72.
Hang on. Is he middleweight?
So he's light middleweight? Correct. And I'm middleweight.
Yeah. But this would all be predicated on you beating Mr. What's his name?
Falcoa, correct. You know,
if you didn't beat him, the price would not be. You wouldn't capitalise on the Tszyu Zerafa fight, would you?
Zerafa Tszyu fight. Yeah. Look.
What did I say?
Tszyu Zerafa.
Oh, you got to get it right.
Oh, Zerafa Tszyu. Do they all start with Z? No. What's Tszyu start with?
T.
Oh, T.
Look, for me, it'd be the plan. Is, you know, in the boxing it's a business. You know, the plan is he wins a world title. He's fighting in January. I fight my world title, and then we basically unify and may the best man win. You know, I'll put my world title on the line. He puts his world title on the line.
I like that. And Zerafa Tszyu. No, don't get it round the wrong way. Don't really knock out.
Yeah, there's only one champ.
Now, Michael, this you talked about. Speaking of money, a fight over in Las Vegas or wherever it is, or here at Margaret Court. What would we be? What would
money,
we be looking
financially?
Yes. What would you think that fight would give both boxers?
It's a big payday. You know, winning that fight, you wrap that butt around your waist. You're talking millions. You know,
are you? 100%. So you could fight for over $1 million.
Easy.
Ooh.
Easy.
So where would the money come from? Television rights?
Yeah, just the pay-per-view, you know, promoters.
I'd pay to view.
Yeah,
$69 or 59 or whatever.
Oh, yeah, but it goes worldwide.
Correct. Yeah, pay-per-view, promoters. You know, ticket sales. You know, all the endorsements from sponsors, all that jump on board for the show.
And you'd have the announcer of the century. What's his name?
I've had him. I've actually had him. Michael Buffer.
What? Yeah,
no,
that's right.
What's the other man?
That's Bruce Buffer. So that's the UFC one.
No. The other. Who?
Johnny.
I interviewed him when he came out for the. I interviewed him when he came out here for Jeff Horn.
Oh, Jeff Horn.
And what's his name? The other
Buffers are the prominent ones.
The long
lost brothers.
The blonde ones, thin blonde. Yeah. He does it all over the world.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Anyhow.
I hate him in Russia. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So they'd come out for that, and the American commentators would come out, as long as they don't bring Teddy Atlas out, who is the most disgracefully stupid man I've ever heard boxing.
He's got his ways about him.
Just speaks and speaks and speaks nonsense.
Do you think the Australian boxers have got an advantage when it's in Australia?
Yeah, of course. When you're in your backyard, it's so much easier. You know, you've got your hometown advantage. You're not travelling. You don't have to acclimatise. You know, you've got everything local. You know, so you're doing nothing's out of ordinary. You're just doing everything as normal. You know, you're in your backyard.
So why would the Brazilian? Oh, that intrigues me. Why would the Brazilian come across here? Why
Jimmy Lennon.
Jimmy Lennon.
Sorry about that, Don.
That's all right.
No, I was just case it.
It would have come to me. It would have come to me.
Yeah. Jimmy Lennon Jr. Don, go ahead.
So why wouldn't the Brazilian meet you halfway and say Las Vegas? Then you're both at the same.
It seemed a lot more logic, but he's just that convinced that he's going to knock me out.
Oh, really?
So he goes, mate, whether it's here, there, or
so
anywhere.
what's his strength and what's his weaknesses?
He's just a walk forward. He's tough. He'll wear 3 shots to land.
He's a fighter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know,
not a boxer, but a fighter.
Correct.
So where do you think the bigger fight would be? Would it be in Las Vegas or would it be here on home turf?
Over there would be a bigger fight.
Yep.
America boxing there is a lot huge, a lot bigger there. You know,
what's that stadium called in
MGM?
No, you know
in Vegas.
Another thing I can't remember.
Where
in Los
Vegas.
Angeles, the big
MGM.
Where they do the basketball, they play all
Madison Square.
Madison Square.
No.
Mate, you've got to be a bit more specific.
In
Staples Center.
Los Angeles.
Staples Center.
That's it. Thank you, mate.
Now it's called Crypto.
Yeah. Well, the
Crypto
MGM is probably
Arena.
the biggest for that, or Madison Square is probably the biggest for boxing.
Yeah.
That's where Triple G is fighting.
I was just going to ask you.
So what will you do? Say we'll just put a hypothetical here. What are your plan? You want to fight for this title, then you take on Zoo. So are you there? Have you reached the peak then?
100%. I've cleaned out my backyard.
And
which
so
I've
you'll
already
retire.
done that. I've won a world title, so I've cleaned out the world. Won the world title.
And so you finished then?
I wouldn't finish. I'll defend it as long as I can. And, you make your money. Every time you defend that belt, you'll
What age are you now?
30.
And so you can go for another, 2 years?
No, I've got another. I'm at my peak. I'm at my peak at the moment. Everyone thinks it's,
No, well, males are mature. They're at their peak between 28 and 32, strength-wise, but then you're on the decline. So how long do you think you could go?
Don.
Yeah.
Well, what
Shoot
about
a man
all
when
those?
he's down.
Shut up, Johnny.
Shoot a man when he's down. Nah, look, if it's not broken, then I'll keep going. Okay. If it's not, it doesn't need fixing, I'll keep it going until it breaks.
I can't think of any of the people I'm trying to remember. What's the bald-headed man that keeps fighting and world best in the world?
Floyd Mayweather.
How old is he?
He's 48, I think, or 40.
He was fighting up and.
Has he still got his marbles?
He's not fighting.
Yeah, he's fighting.
I didn't say he was fighting now, but he fought.
No, he's still fighting.
Yeah,
now.
he's still fighting. He's just not.
But he's making 50 million a fight.
Yeah, he's. Yeah,
Has he got his marbles though?
Yeah, he's got
his marbles. He's more sharper than you.
It's not quite to the extent of when he was fighting in his prime. Yeah. It's a lot of not charity matches.
Great fighter.
The Mayor of Brighton has just made a very good point with what Floyd's doing, or what anyone does. You don't make the money for the title fight. You make the money defending the title.
Correct. That's where all the money's made. So you win that belt, you might make a $700,000 payday fighting for a vacant title, but then you win that title, you're making $3-4 million every time you defend it, and then obviously everyone wants to fight you. So you basically are the man that calls the shots.
Now,
supply and demand.
Pretty boy Zerafa, we haven't mentioned because we're not on video or anything. You've got a very charming person. Is this your
partner?
Correct.
Partner, correct. Yeah.
Partner, and
not wife yet. Not wife yet.
You wouldn't want to announce anything on the
podcast?
podcast?
You've thrown me under the.
Would you like
to drown me on
studio on the podcast?
Not yet.
Not yet. What would you like to come back and do it on the podcast?
Sure. When it's time to rock and roll.
Should we clarify the word partner?
No.
What's that? So we think we're non-binary. We've got a feeling it's a woman.
Don't take any. He just jumps the gun with marriage. That's just who he is, and he's an idiot.
But mind you, Don, it wouldn't matter if it's not. Michael's entitled to marry whomever he wishes, and what is.
And who are we to argue with Michael?
Exactly, Don.
Yeah.
You get punched. What is our partner's name?
Celine.
Celine. Don't say Dion, Don. Oh, it's the only Celine you can think of.
It
isn't
is too.
Yeah, of course it is. I can read you like a book.
Showing your age, mate.
Read you like a book. So Celine and Michael, you might get married before the title fight?
That's a negative. My promise was to win a world title first.
I see.
I'm married to the game.
This could go on for years.
I'm married to the game.
Celine,
she might scarper. She might do a runner.
Stick around.
It's,
If you can't build a living suitcase out of Mr. Falcoa, she might be off. Anyhow, Michael, that's fantastic news. And you reckon Tim, Zoo and you would be bigger than Mr. Falcoa and you?
Me and Tim Zoo would definitely.
Yes, Zerafa and Zoo.
Would
Don't
be
get that round the wrong way.
Would definitely be the biggest fight in Australian boxing.
All right. Well, any other announcements? John, any other questions we should be asking Michael? Because we don't want to let this opportunity slip. Anything you'd like to announce, Michael? Not to do with matrimony or anything like that?
No, nothing. I'm just ready to go. Ready to rock
we
and roll.
really appreciate you coming in and telling us all this. It's exciting, isn't it? And John reckons, John here, this is the fucking
Talent manager.
The mayor of
talent
Brighton.
manager. He
The
reckons
procurer.
we'll be able to speak to what's his name?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson, I'm going to say Tyrone. Tyson Fury. That'd be exciting, wouldn't it?
Huge.
What if you had to interview Tyson Fury? What first question you'd ask him?
Oh, that's
No, that's right.
yeah.
No,
That's
he had to go at the analgesics for a while, didn't he? And gave them a terrible nudge.
Yeah, he went all out. He did. That's his personality. He's
Yeah.
He's
So
actually,
you don't touch any of the analgesics and
none of that, mate. None of that.
No, that's right. A clean, a pretty boy, clean living Michael Zerafa and Celine, of course, who's a pretty girl, a pretty boy and pretty girl. Be good, wouldn't it? Michael,
Pretty woman.
Pretty woman. Well done, Don. They should make a film called that. Michael Zerafa, thank you very much for coming in
Thanks
and
for
having
once
another
again.
chat to us.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Now, Don, Michael, we could.
What you do is hit the button.
Well, Don, I know that, my man, but we could keep continuing. If anything else you want to say about boxing?
I'd like a break.
Right. Well, break we'll have, Don.